Yes, so here we are, and oh,
Oh,
more
Sarah,
people
hey.
coming in. Yay. So glad to see everyone here this morning. And it is our second last day of six. Yeah. And then we don't get together again for therapists until 2026. Ah, oh, but that's seven, and seven's wonderful. There's so much to learn in seven. Yeah, and this one's I love this one. We're gonna have so much fun the next. There's a lot in here anyway. So yeah. So anyway, I'll stop talking and send it over to you, John.
Okay. So, welcome everyone. We are going to begin. For some of you, it'll be a beginning. Some of you have done this before. We're going to do, yesterday we did a lot of walking. Today we're going to do standing. So, we're going to do standing practices, and these are wonderful practices called Yishuan. And it's a series of about, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 stances that you will be working with and holding those postures. So, this is a chance to really build some chi. So I'm going to invite you to stand up and we're going to start with our silken form and get some energy flowing first. All right.
Hmm.
See if my thing will work today. It looks like it's going well. So that's good. Okay, let's find our nice Wuji posture. We've been working with this a lot. And ever since the beginning of practitioner, but let's just kind of have a moment just to be with it. How are those feet? Let's just start to check in. You know the different things we have to do. So just notice your feet. Is there anything you need to do to adjust them? How about your knees? Are they bent? How about the pelvis? Is there a firmness in the anal and the perineum and the anal sphincter closes? Are you able to have a container here to fill with chi? How's your spine? What about your shoulders and arms? Get a sense of the energy that flows up the neck. Is there any blockage there? Can you slightly tuck that chin to help it out? How about the eyes? Are they soft? Are the ears closed? Is the tongue on the upper palate? And notice your breath as you breathe in and out through the nose. How's the breath today? Can we take a few nice, long, deep breaths? Good. And let's move that into pulling down the heavens. Let's gather some energy from the earth, from nature, from the sky. And let's say hello to those energies that they wash down over the front of the body. Just washing down, and any tension that they've gathered, we just wash that into the earth. Good. And let's gather some more energy from earth and nature. Beautiful divine energy, and say hello to the back of the body. Get a sense of that being receiving this light, receiving this loving light as it washes away any tension into the earth. And one more time, crown by way opens, and we send some energy into the brain, the throat, all your organs, muscles, bones, tendons, nerves, your blood, and any tension gets washed away down into the earth. All right. So let's work with our tendon lines. The tendon lines are the transformation lines, or the transforming lines for chi. We move the chi through there, transporting, not transforming, transporting lines for chi. So we want to move some energy through the tendons. And this is a wonderful way to do that through silken form. And we're going to use reverse breathing to do that. So let's do a little practice that I've learned on how to get that sense of that breath that's going to be down here. So if you take a moment and bring your hands to the small of your back, point your fingers down to your bum, and imagine there's a little pearl light right there at Hui Yen, right at the on the perineum, base of the spine area. And then we're gonna breathe in and imagine that pearl coming up to Ming Men. And as you do, you're gonna pull in your abs. That pearl's gonna separate into two parts. And now you're gonna relax the abs as you exhale through the nose and send that pearl back down to the perineum. So let's do that again. We're going to inhale, reverse breath. So we're bringing in the abdominals as it comes up to Ming Men, separates into two parts. Exhale, it goes back down to Ming Men. So we're creating this rotation in the pelvis, in the lower Danchen. Inhale, up to Ming Men, around in two parts, reforms at the navel. Exhale, back down. Let's try that a few more times. Inhale, abs come in. Exhale, abs relax. Still keep that firmness in the perineum though. Inhale, exhale. Building up pressure here. You start to feel that. Inhale, exhale. Good. One more time. Inhale, exhale. So that's the breath that we'll be working with. Inhale, abs will come in. Exhale, they'll relax. So just the opposite of our normal deep abdominal breathing. Hence why it's called reverse breathing. So let's take this idea of this breath and take it into a flow with the arms here. So bring your arms out in front to start. We're going to inhale, scoot like you're scooping back, gathering energy. And as you exhale, your hands are going to come forward, palms up. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, abs come in. Exhale, relax. And as you do that, you breathe in, you're pulling energy into your center. And as you exhale, you're sending chi out. So it builds pressure into your center and then it bursts out. So you might start to get a sense of that coming through the arms and all the way out through your fingertips. Like we're offering each other some chi. Here, would you like some chi? Inhale, exhale. Two more. So the arms actually are moving, but we're not using a lot of muscle here. So now let's scoop up towards the ears and then exhale, palms down as we go forward. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. I like to bring in the legs a little bit. So as I inhale, I sink a little bit and then I rise up without locking the knees. That helps to send it down the legs as well. Inhale, exhale. Good. Breathing in, gathering the chi. Exhale, sending it out. Feeling the center. Send it out. Opening up. More flow in the tendons. Bringing the energy through there. One more time. And now let's begin to scoop back. And palms up and out to the side. Inhale. Exhale. Smile. We're moving chi. Woohoo. I like to add the fingers a little bit. So I kind of scoot back with each finger, really open up the tendons all the way through the fingertips. One more in this direction. And now you're going to fold the hands into the center, palms down and out to the side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Into the core, out to the extremities. Trying to get a sense of these arms just flowing through these movements. The chi is helping you with the movement. Inhale, exhale. 2 more. Good. And now float the arms above your head. And now scoop back around the head here and then fly into the sky. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Nice deep breath in and out through the nose, tongue on the upper palate. Abs come in, abs relax. Building chi, sending it out. 2 more. Good. And now let the arms start to float down. And then we'll scoop back, palms back behind you. So inhale, big swooping motion here. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Breathing in, breathing out. And smile. Inhale. Exhale. Last couple. Float the arms down by your side. Let's scoop back behind us. Inhale. Exhale. Let's start to open up the inner leg channels. Inhale. Exhale with a little extra focus on the liver, all the way down to our big toes. Remember, liver rules the tendons. Just giving a little extra help through the tendons of the legs. Inhale, scoop back. Exhale, send it down. 2 more. And last one, we're going to scoop up and focus on the outside tendon lines here, those big IT bands in the gallbladder channel. Inhale. Exhale. Really supporting our wood element here. Inhale. As well as the whole body. Inhale. Exhale. And final time. Just come back to Wu Ji. Go back to deep abdominal breathing. Let the reverse breathing go. Check in and notice. How's the energy moving now? You aware of a little bit more flow through the arms. You feel your fingers buzzing. Maybe you feel a little energy coming out of the tips here. It's a wonderful exercise to get the chi flowing. All right. So now we're going to move into a wonderful practice called Yixuan. So you're moving into advanced levels. So this is an advanced practice. We did our walking yesterday, and today we're going to work with how we can just be in these postures. Yixuan is all about building qi. This is a really big supportive way to build qi. And in fact, it's some of the most powerful exercises you can do because it's not a lot of external movement, but it's a lot of internal movement, a lot of breath coming through. You can move, work with your microcosmic orbit, whatever you need to do to support yourself. And the idea is to really help support this idea of relaxation and using the least amount of energy to manifest what we're trying to do. So let's begin with the first posture, which is we're very familiar with. It's Wu Ji. So have a moment just to be here. Notice if there's any small little adjustment you need to do. By the way, even though they're standing postures, they're not rigid. It's meant to be alive. So any little subtle movements, so if you're feeling like, oh, I need to just kind of get that adjusted, move that a little bit, and then settle back in, that is what it's meant to be. It's not meant to be stuck. I'm not allowed to move for whatever amount of time I've decided. Just like a tree's not rigid, it moves with the wind. If it was completely rigid, it would break. So just have couple more breaths here. Nice deep abdominal breathing. Good. Now we're going to slowly begin to move into our first new posture. And I want to give you some visuals before we go there. So let's imagine you're standing in water up to your waist. And in this water, you're sitting on a big bouncy ball right there between your legs. So you're actually supported. And what we're going to do is we're going to slowly let our arms float up along the sides. And then we're going to bring them right here between the collarbone and the center of the chest. Palms are going to face down. Elbows are going to be out. They're not right against the body. They're out here. And this is called hand floats on ball. So the idea is not only are we sitting on a ball, there's a big ball here at the level of the water. And we're just putting our hands on top of that ball. There's little balls in your armpits, little balls holding up there, underneath the elbows. And you're just working with this idea of relaxation in a standing pose. Make sure the knees are bent, drop that tailbone, let the spine be long. We're just learning, so we won't do them really long, but we want to get a sense of how this is to be truly present in a standing posture. And breathe. The other thing is smile. Help that uplifting chi. You don't want to be frowning. That makes it even more challenging. Good. Working with this idea of being centered, being relaxed here. And as you breathe, you start to get that connection of the energy that flows up through bubbling springs, through your body, from the earth, down from the divine, all the energy of nature. We're just being a part of all that, just settling in. Doing little micro movements as you need to support this, the flow that's happening within you. And as we do this more and more, we'll get into a little bit longer times. But for now, we want to get a sense of what this is. If areas are getting tight, invite them to soften. How can you invite those areas? Maybe the shoulders are starting to say hello. Maybe the elbows are, maybe the chest, the back. See, can you invite them to soften a little bit more? Really good. All right, everyone. Take 3 more deep breaths. Good. On your next inhale, bring your hands into the chest. Then let your arms come out and we go immortal embraces post, or we like to call it embrace the tree pose. The one pose that every form of Qigong has in its practice. This is the hub. Everything else spokes off this. So once again, side view. Arms are extended. They're not right here. They're out here. Let those elbows relax. So we're embracing a tree. You can even imagine little balloons holding up the elbows. Shoulders drop. Hands are just facing towards the chest. And you can even imagine little chi rods coming out from the corner of your chest into the center of your palms. That was a little hint I got from Minka DeVos once. This is a lovely way to kind of just chi rods come out and just kind of, there you go. All this stuff is happening, so you can just kind of relax. You can even imagine your hands just sitting on a shelf. There we go. Just plop them on a shelf. And breathe. Yes. Very powerful position. Building energy. Keep breathing. Notice if your breath has gone shallow. Make it deeper. Sometimes when we get into a position that's more stressful, we breathe a little shallow, like, I just want to get through this. No, how about you take a little deeper breath? That will keep the chi moving, keep the energy moving. Won't allow all that lactic acid to build up and create more tension. Look at how powerful you are. Ask your guides, give them, say, hey, give me a little help here. Hold up my hands for a moment. Give me a little back rub. Good. All right, everybody. Doing great. Remember, if there's any little tension, you need a little micro movement. Oh, just gotta shimmy those shoulders a little bit and then drop back in. Maybe the shoulder blades have to drop down a little more. Relax those shoulders. They might start to be coming, oh, maybe they're coming up towards the ears and go, oh, wait a minute, let them drop down. After a while, it may be surprising, you actually can relax in this. I've done this before and almost fallen asleep. I got so relaxed. It does happen. It might not feel that way now, but it does get there. So doing great. Good. Wonderful, wonderful, everybody. Take 3 more deep breaths. Good. And then on the next inhale, bring your hands into the chest once again. Drop them down to the level of your navel. And now we'll do something called hand embraces ball. Hands embrace ball. So once again, hands are out. We got a ball here. We're just embracing it against the body. This is really good for sealing qi in the lower danchen. Hands face the navel. A little bit lower, so it's a little bit easier on the shoulders. Just give yourself a little shoulder roll if you need it. And then drop back in. Just know how much qi you're building as you do this. So the external movement is small. We just transition from one to the next. Internally, there's a lot going on. You're feeling like it's really tension, just run your microcosmic orbit. Get a sense of that qi moving through, up the spine, down the front, through the fire cycle. Keep bringing that energy around and back into the lower dantian, and then do another couple circuits. For me, the chi always builds up, and I have to kind of, you'll notice my toes move a lot when I do this. That's how I release. I just kind of wiggle my toes, and then just whatever tension kind of wiggles its way down and out. You may find your own way to kind of relax into it. Good. All right, let's do that for 3 more breaths. And then bring your hands into the lower dantian, and now bring them down here at the waistline. Elbows are out. This is called hand carries ball. So we got a big ball here. We're just kind of walking around with this ball. The hands are actually closer to the body for this one. We're not holding them out. They're actually closer to the body for this one. As we carry this imaginary ball, collecting some more chi in our lower dantian. Palms face up towards the ceiling. And breathe in and out through the nose. Building your power, building your chi base. Good. Lovely, lovely. And let's do 3 more breaths here. Good. Now we're going to move up to the upper dantian. So let's breathe in and lift your arms like you're making a outline of the earth. Bring your hands down right here. Palms face the screen and slightly down. So there's a little angle here. This is actually called hand presses down, but it's kind of down and a little bit forward. You're going to gaze softly between your hands. This is a really good Shen building position. Just a soft gaze. You're not really looking at anything. You're just having a soft gaze. This one, you really want to invite the shoulders to relax, drop them down. So again, hands are away from the body. They're not right here against the body. And be present here. Drop that tailbone. That's a big one. If you're starting to ducktail a little bit, you want to drop the tailbone. Soft gaze between your hands. And smile. Doing great. Once again, just do some deep breathing. Make sure you're not holding your breath. Feel free to run that microcosmic orbit. can always do a quick 1 through 10 as well, if you'd like. Doing great. Little micro movements to loosen up the areas of tension and then settle back in. Good. Doing great. Very nice. All right, everybody, you're doing great. 3 more deep breaths. Good. On your next inhale, bring your hands in towards the face, drop them down right between your heart and your throat. Push forward. This is hands pressed forward. Good. Just as more like extending chi, like we would do for a treatment. You would extend chi to someone. Once again, there's some space here. It's not against the body. We're going to send chi to each other. We can do this. We'll help each other out. Breathe. Feel those sense of roots beneath you, the divine supporting you from above, nature all around you. You're becoming one with all this. This is more really allowing yourself to settle into all the energies that you're a part of, that are part of your birthright of being born here on this planet. And be with that. Good. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Good. Keep smiling. Know that you are really supporting yourself here. Good. More rooting, more running the microcosmic orbit, more invitation to relax. All different forms of our Wuji posture. Good. Wonderful, everybody. Take 3 more deep breaths. Nice deep breaths. On the next inhale, bring your hands into the chest and now bring them down here, right at the waist, pushing your hands down towards the ground. This is called hand floats on plank. So imagine we have this water here. There's a plank of wood, and we're just kind of pushing on that wood. Help to really root your energy. Hands are at waist level, palms down, helping to root your energy. Good. You want to shift your energy and get healthy quick. Do these postures every day, or at least regularly, and that will be really good for getting that chi moving through your body and breaking up the blockages, moving any stagnant energy, filling up any deficiencies, and really helping your alignment. Any issues you have with your alignment will be corrected. Otherwise, you're going to be in pain because you're holding a posture like, I'm holding it wrong. If you start to really get that spine long, drop the tailbone, all the things we do in Wuji, do that during this, it flows much easier. Good. All right, let's do 3 more breaths here. Good. And then slowly bring your hands out and then bring them around. And now we're going to do hand presses ball. And this is going to be between the solar plexus and the heart. So it's the lower part, lower half of your middle danchen. Once again, there's a ball that we're pressing against the body. Really want to access those lower chambers of the middle danchen as you breathe. So it's a little bit lower than some of our other postures, but it's still up there about mid-body, mid-torso. Relax the elbows. You ever start to feel a little too warm? You can always drop your thumbs. That's a little hack to kind of cool off a little bit. If you're feeling warm, just drop your thumbs. Really trying to work with the stillness of the mind. That's our highest achievement. We really want to keep the mind at a sense of stillness there. And of course, more and more awareness of the present moment. That's going to help it more than going, oh, later I have to do this. No, be present. Give yourself that gift of being present. See if you can, even though can be stressful at first, can you relax? Can you work with the idea of relaxation? You can even say a mantra to yourself, relax, relax. Good. And then let's bring our hands, let's do 3 more breaths, sorry. 3 more breaths. And here we go. Final posture. Let's breathe in. Bring your hands in the body. And now take your fingers, point them forward. Thumbs are going to be along this behind you. You're going to slide down from your armpits down the side of your body, down the gallbladder channel. And we're going to pause right here at the hips. Elbows are back. And this is called Hogu, which is the name of large intestine 4. And this is just to release any toxins or anything that have built up here. Palms face the ground. Just imagine any tension flowing out of the arms, out of the palms, out of the side of the legs, all the way down and out through the feet. Down the spine, out of the tailbone. Just relaxing and releasing any toxicity, any turbid, any lactic acid. Just imagine it all just kind of releasing as you breathe. Good. Good. 3 more breaths here. And then slowly relax back into Wuji. Check in. How are you doing? If you haven't, I invite you now, run your microcosmic orbit. Energy up the back, down the front. Bring one hand on top of the other to the navel. Bring your feet closer together. Let's lock this energy in with 9 rotations. Reverse it for 9 more. Rub your hands, generate some heat. Bring them over your eyes, over your glasses. Soak that in all the way to the brain, down the spine, to the danchen. And a wash of the face. Tap of the forehead, crown, side, back of the head, back of the neck. Bring that in energy a little deeper, but also to move any tension as we go all the way down to the palm, back, cross to the other side, up the back, underarms, chest, sides of the body, digestive organs as we go up the right, down the left, up the right, down the left. One more time. Tap our sea of chi. Tap around the waist to the chi belt to the kidneys, going up and down the lower spine, and then down the outer legs, around the feet and toes, back up the inner legs. Tap right here at leg gates and the pelvis. Stimulate our sea of chi one more time. And one more moment in Wuji. Just checking in once again. Good. Let's take this beautiful energy, everyone, and have a wonderful day. Thank you. Great job, everybody. Drink water. You moved a lot of energy.
Congratulations, you survived.
Yes,
A
you did
huge
it.
one. Yay. Made it through somehow, whether you stood the whole time or not, you stepped into it.
Yes, exactly.
And I'm sure it's fun for people who are back reviewing, and it's like, oh, yeah, this is lovely to do it.
Yeah, wowza. Yowza. Yeah, that's it. When you first do it, it is a yowza. Like, whoa, really? Are we doing this?
That's right. It's classic. Yes.
You're welcome.
Hmm.
Oh, shake so much. Oh, good. That's good to see, Joel, that you released a bunch of stuff with the legs.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
Very good.
Yeah. You can tell the people who've done it last year. They're like, yeah, we love this. Yeah.
Okay. Sandy.
Um, do you do the silken form before the standing poses to kind of get rid of any tension? Was that
We'll just start to give
intentionally?
you a sense of opening the flow through the tendon lines. So they work really nice together because it starts to really open the flow. And because it's a moving one, we're moving and we're going through all these different things that really opens up those tendon lines so that the chi will flow better. And then it's a little bit easier to go right into a more static posture.
Every time I do the silken form, my body goes into uncontrollable shaking afterwards.
Oh, good.
Like all through the part, I'd have to take a break. I just have to let my body shake. Okay, now
Yeah,
I'll come back to it. And then like they just start trickling up from the legs because I've had a lot of tendon injuries from my cycling accident.
Ah,
I had seven, I didn't break a bone, but I had seven tendonitis injuries in my body from the cycling accident. So like I'm still almost like shaking sitting in my chair. Last time we did it in class, I probably shook for 20 minutes afterwards.
that's awesome, actually, Sandy. That's great.
that is awesome. The shaking is like this great reward for what you just did.
Yes.
Shaking is healing things. It's like breaking, shaking is there to break through blockages. And
Oh my
so
God.
you're working the energy up and down those tendons and they're like, okay, we got energy coming through here. We got to shake off this blockage. So all the shaking is it's an unwinding and it's a release of blockages. So it's wonderful.
Yeah. It's one of the best things you can do for yourself with
Yeah.
all that tendonitis.
Yes.
It's funny, it doesn't come out until I do silken form, right?
You need
Because
to
it's
do
very
more
focused
silken
work on
form.
the tendons.
You need the silken forms. It's great that you've got one that where it works.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, you're welcome. Keep on shaking
Yep.
until you don't need to shake no more.
Yeah, and that'll happen too. It'll come to a place where where you start to shake
Right.
less. So, okay. Okay. Yeah, Sarah, thank you so much, John. That was almost relaxing, very different from last year. Yes,
Yeah,
everyone, you can look forward to that. Yes, that you do this, and then it's um, just what Sandy was saying. It starts the energy flowing down the meridians in a way that's going to support you, and it can become relaxing. You can fall asleep in your postures pretty much because, sometimes you're standing and it's just so
yeah.
relaxing. Your hands are up here and it's like, yeah, it's fine. Oh, from Stephanie. Okay. This was wild. Even doing it without standing felt nice. I was wondering if I could practice some of the standing postures on their own, or is it meant as a series? Or would you spend more time with one of them if you feel more shift, or you could do all these things, or
You could,
should
yeah, exactly.
it
All the
be
above.
all the same average of breaths? We would say always pay attention to yourself. And if you're finding that there's one that really draws you and you're finding that it really moves the chi, just like Sandy found with the silken forms, do some more of that one.
Exactly.
If you just really want to do the classic, it's like it's good to do some of those and then kind of do the classic one. Um, how many minutes was that per form today, John?
We did, believe it or not, everybody, we did some of them between 2 and 3 minutes for everything.
Yes, that's a good place to start. Yeah, so that was great.
Yeah. Are these listed in the handouts? It felt longer on some, yes. Probably did if it's new. Yeah. Uh they're not in the current handouts, but we have copies we can send that out to you.
Yeah, let's send out the PDF and let's put it in the handouts for next time.
Yep. But we'll send it out to them now. Yeah.
Yes, it's in the books.
It's in the books, but it's interesting. It doesn't show the first level. It's only the second level, which is kind of weird. I don't know why
Yeah,
you'd focus only on the second level, which is a more moving version. But until you
yes,
really get the stances, it's not really good to do the moving ones. So
yeah.
But
Mhm.
we will definitely get you a handout for it.
Yes. Okay.
And it's on my YouTube. You can play along with me whenever you want. It's on, I do have the Yishuan on my YouTube.
Oh, that's perfect then. And how many minutes do you do?
Because it's a general public kind of thing, I think it's 25 minutes for the whole thing.
People love that. Okay,
Yeah.
everybody, you can do the 25-minute version on YouTube. And it's Ishwan. It's Y-I Quan. I don't know. Is that how you spelling it on there? Yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah.
standard spelling. Yes.
Yep.
So look up John Weiss Yishuan.
Yeah. And if you want, in fact, if you want today, I'll send you the link with the rough cut. I'll make a note of that. When I send out the rough cut today, I'll just put a link to my YouTube so you can watch it. So you'll have it on here, but you'll also have it as a standalone.
Yeah. Okay.
And I can send this. I have the Silken Form too. I'll send you both.
Right. Okay. I think we'll do a little bit of the PowerPoint if there's no more questions. Are there any more questions, John?
Not that I
Here.
see.
Okay. We're going to do that. And then we're going to do the second half of those practices. So some of you had partners and some of you haven't done it yet. And we'll need to know if Stephanie is wanting to receive a journey session.
Please let us know in the chat.
And there are those who didn't give. There's a whole bunch of people here who weren't here on Tuesday. Anyway, if you can put that in the chat and we'll leave that to between.
Okay,
Okay.
no
So that's
problem.
Stephanie, no problem now. Okay. It's called Yishuan, Sandy, Yiquan. Okay. Okay. Back where we were. A little bit more to say about this one. So, spirit pathology and inherited karma. So, this is a whole thing, the idea of curses and inherited burden. Just like it used to be that if your father was in debt, that you would have to, the debt would be passed on to the children. So, I mean, that's kind of a nice thing. And, something they're trying to get rid of around the world, actually, which is inherited debt. But a lot of places, that used to be the coal miners in Scotland and Ireland who had to, um, they became the owners of the mine, owned all the people because they were indebted to the lord of the coal mine. And so the child, so they when the child was born, they were immediately also in debt. And if you tried to run away or go somewhere else, you were imprisoned, and then you were, or I don't even know how bad that was. And then you were freed so you could go back to work in the mine. And that included the women. The women had to like deliver the food, all sorts of stuff, or the women had to carry the packs up. And so, there was a lot of slavery in the West in the 1800s or before that. So, anyway, so that was the external version, but this is the internal version that you inherit these debts, these burdens, these curses, and I find them in families, and some of it's just, that ancestral stuff that we call the hot evil that's passed on as into the child, into the fetus, and then into the child that they inherit. maybe that tendency to become an alcoholic, or just there's all sorts of things that are inherited burdens. And then there's the actual curse that goes out. And I've worked with people where I've found curses. And usually the people know there's a curse, or people come to me because their family has a curse. And it's pretty interesting. What I find is that the ones who are the curse kind of becomes largest, and it becomes actually the person who created the curse. So whoever comes into the family, and there's just a lot of what happens in a curse. There's a lot of interaction between obviously two sides of some story that are going on. And so if you're like cursing someone, you can be sure they're going to be your mother or your father in the next life. I mean, if you actually go to the trouble to put that out there, it's such an attachment. And so what I find in these is that there's a big attachment between the receivers of the curse and the ones who do the curse in the beginning. And I find it's a 7 generation thing. And usually the last receiver of the curse is the one who made the curse in the beginning. And I've found this in different Western families and also in Chinese families. And once they kind of understand that, that's a whole kind of a release of the anger about it, and also I can take them apart. Not always. Sometimes I'm not allowed to, but if I am allowed to, I undo the curse that was put in the beginning, and that takes away the burden. And that's only possible because everybody has learned the lesson. So I had one Chinese family who had a child that had um, like brain injury, a lot of brain injury at birth. And they were coming to me because bad things happened in their family and they believed it was the curse. And what I was told was this was the person who made the curse in the beginning. And they were now going to receive this, devoted love and attention from the family that they cursed. So they would bask in this love of all of these people because his family was very devoted to this child. Um, and uh, and then when they heard that, they were like, "Oh, that makes so much sense." They just really liked it. I didn't know whether they'd like that or not, but they did. They thought, "Oh, there we go." And I said, This completely resolves all of everyone's karma around what happened because the family that was cursed had actually gone in and killed the people in this village. So they had been the bad ones. And there was a reason why this child cursed them, or not the one who is now the baby had cursed them because of what they had done to the people of the village. And I think and it's really, really specifically this family. So this big family. Anyway, I can remember because it comes in as a visual. That came in as a whole visual to me. And then they had, like the head of the people who came in they put the curse on them. So it was a really interesting back and forth. And 7 generations later, everything was coming back to this beautiful harmony. It was like, isn't it amazing the way that the divine works through these things so that it can takes 7 generations really to work it out. So that was really cool. Um, okay. And so congenital illness. Anyway, I want to talk about curse. And then ghost or demon infusion or ghost infestation and ghostly pathogens coming in. Anyway, so ghost infestations are a thing. Um, there's One of my worst ghost infestations was in Vancouver when I was going to give a talk in the Scottish Rites Hall. If you live in Vancouver and you know about the Scottish Rites Hall, pay attention the next time you go there. It is jam chock full of ghosts.
That was
And
a
I go,
weird night. That was a very weird night.
oh my God. I go into there and it was like I had walked into water. It was all of this swimmy energy in there. And it's like, oh no, I can't give a talk in this energy. What am I going to do? And I kept trying to find a place where I could stand, but it kept getting all swimmy. And then almost no one came. And I was like, oh, thank God. I'm so glad because, spirit takes care of things. When I would give talk, I'd have lots of people come to Banyan Books, the big bookstore in Vancouver. And used to give talks there every year. And it'd be, nice, we'd be filling the aisles. In this place, there was like nobody, and I was so relieved because I couldn't find a place to stand where all of a sudden I didn't have like this ghost kind of coming over me. The ghosts were really aware that I was aware of them. And so they were very harassing, but I think everybody there felt it. It was super icky. What I found out and I didn't understand later was that there was a bar downstairs that was part of this place, but it had the big balconies around the top. The balconies was full of them out there kind of watching. And so if you're a partier and you die and you're not really ready to go across, that's the place to go. 'Cause And I wasn't gonna like disturb them. I was just like, I really can't be here. And they were everywhere. So that place is a massive infestation. But it's like if you want to drink and party and dance, they have big dances there. And anyway, that's a ghost infestation. That
Well,
was the
Wendy,
biggest.
really, real quick, it was really funny. The few people that did come were just all just kind of zombie nonchalant about everything. They were just like, do you have any problems? Nah, I don't want to talk about anything. It's all good. You're like, why are we here?
It
The
was
whole night
so
was weird.
it was
They were all
so
being
weird. It was
overwhelmed by the ghosts.
it was just weird, weird, weird. Anyway, I was so glad I didn't have a room full of people. It would have been really, really hard because you can kind of feel them. They were like creeping me, like, ooh, which ghosts don't normally do ever. But in that situation, they probably saw that I was a kind of a ghostbuster and they didn't want to be ghostbusted. So I'm just like, fine. You found a good place. Everybody's happy with you here. You can just stay here. There's another place in Vancouver, a place called Point Grey in Vancouver, where I was in a house in early summer. I did distance work and then did it in person. And it was really interesting too. And it also had a ghost infestation. But that one, because people lived there, I needed to clear it. And so it took a lot to clear that place, but we eventually got it cleared. And this means that, and those were more native people. And so they were more, we were able to work things so that they would go across. So it was a very different circumstance. It wasn't like the partiers. Okay. So, a little bit different here. Now, here's an Indian perspective of inherited karma. Pitra dosh is the Indian equivalent, and it means the curse of the ancestors. Pitras are ancestors and are themselves cursed by virtue of their bad karma and also their ancestors, right? A part of this curse or karmic debt has been forwarded to you. And Pitra dosh is an inheritance of karmic debt of the family line, and you have to accept it whether or not you want to. Yeah. So there's just things in these lineages, and and then it gives you interesting things. You've chosen it. You've chosen to come in, and it's going to be an interesting things to work on in your lifetime. You wouldn't have chosen this particular family, or in the case of like the curse, when you did your life review, you really want to work these things through and come to a place of love. And that was like that seventh generation with that child. Like it was all love. And that's how things are resolved. Finally, we have to finally resolve everything into love. Okay. Okay, spirit pathology. What is labeled psychotic in the West is 96% of what 486 societies call normal. Okay, and these include seeing visions, hearing voices, having contact with the dead. So out of in other cultures, almost all of them, this is normal. It's only our particular culture that has a problem with this. I love that. Spiritual trance. The difference between a spiritual trance and psychosis. True psychosis, the person can't reorient. So when we go into a state of channeling or trance or any of those things, it has a beginning and an end. If it doesn't end, if the person can't reorient, that's the difference. Interaction with spirit entities is a normal aspect of medical qigong, an important aspect of clinical practice. Yes, because we work on body, mind, and spirit. And we don't just say that. We actually do that. Okay, so I think we're going to break, not break, we're going to stop this and we're going to move now. These are interesting talks. Are there any comments on this or? Oh, Banyan Books?
Banyan Books is on Fourth, but the room
Yeah,
that we were
what's
talking about was on Main Street.
yeah, it's on Main. Ooh, yes. How do you choose locations for events now? You go there first and you check it out.
Go there first,
Yeah, you don't
or
want
take
to.
a read on it before you get there and
Yeah,
just
you can take a read. Yeah. So it's like so there are definitely places that are problematic. Yes. Um,
Jonathan had a question.
oh, ways to, for a second. Ways to protect yourself. We find ourselves in a situation like you were in with the creepy ghost. Yes, that's what this class is going to be talking about. So good question. Jonathan.
Yeah, I was just kind of following that on ways to protect yourself, but also curious on just like the protocols of clearing spirits. And then I'm also really interested in kind of doing this work, but I have no idea how you end up
Well,
being,
tomorrow
yeah, what
Tomorrow we're
you
doing
do.
house
we
clearing.
start with
Oh, look
some
at
space
that.
clearing.
Okay, perfect. It seems like I've been asking questions that we've been about
You
to get.
just yeah, you just know what we're in our minds for
Yes.
tomorrow. Yes.
So you get some nice
Yep.
tips tomorrow.
Yes, you get to practice that tomorrow. So actually, I want you to think of a place you want to clear, whether it's your house or office or someplace connected to you for clearing. So that's going to be a part of your overnight what to think about. Sandy.
This Petra Dosh, where you get the karmic debt of the family line,
Yes,
how do you work with that?
I'm
Because
doing
it
that
says you
in
get it.
the archangels this coming week.
What's that? Sorry.
I'm doing that with our work with the archangels that I have mediumship 2 is this coming week, and that's
Oh, that's what you do a mediumship too.
we're doing some of that in mediumship too, but it also goes it's part of soul retrieval. Like there's a
Okay.
lot of things, and that you discover in mediumship and then the ancestors, when you go back into the ancestors and you're finding that that's inherited. And often when you clear it with someone, you realize like, okay, there's a whole line here. Like I've done a lot of work with someone who came from a family, Dutch family of Dutch Reformed Church, which is a very kind of very puritanical church. It was like very puritanical Protestantism. And and it went back and you could just, we cleared these ancestors back in her line. And it did a lot of family clearing. So that was definitely inherited karma that she could still feel. And she could feel the shift, a big shift to not have that, anymore. And we tried to clear it for as much for everybody as possible. So yeah. And often there's that option that comes up during the clearing. Can we expand this outward and clear it for more people?
Right.
Okay, so let's see. John, do we have some partnerships here?
We do. So everybody that was
Oh,
here
this
on,
is, oh, I did answer that. Leave now. Okay, so Stephanie.
no
Okay,
problem,
thanks,
Stephanie.
Stephanie.
All the
Glad you were here
best.
for a while. Yep.
Yeah. So everybody that was here on Thursday, you're going to be with your partners. So whoever gave the session will now receive. So you'll be switching. And for the new people, I put a bunch of people together. So you get to decide who gives, who receives. And then if you want to, on your own, you could make a WhatsApp little request with this other person to either give or receive if you didn't, because we've already done one level. And Mav, your partner's not here today, so you're going to be with Sarah.
Hmm.
Delphine will be with Julie, and Janet's going to be with Jennifer. So everybody else is with the partners they had before.
Are we trying to do the sub personality?
We're doing
Yes,
either this, yeah, this is the sub personality or the past life journey. Your choice.
yes, your
Okay,
choice.
and you sent the new one out.
Yep,
That's
I sent it out yesterday.
okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
We've sent it a few times, so
yeah.
hopefully it's somewhere.
Okay, and
Um,
so that is what we're doing, Sarah.
yep.
Yeah.
So
Janet didn't have a partner. You do
Mav was with
today.
Celine for a short time, but now she's going to be with Sarah because Celine's not here.
Okay.
So you decide whether you want to, if you weren't,
We'll come to your rooms and make sure everything's
yeah, we'll
figured
make
out.
sure. But I'm going to
Okay,
open the
so
rooms now
yeah, we'll work it out.
and you'll figure it out.
You're going to have until the top of the hour. So
Yeah,
45 minutes, and then we'll go into break.
I'm going to stop the recording.
Yeah, recording, good idea. Okay, anybody with comments or questions after doing your wonderful journeys? John and I watched, and a lot of amazing work there. So you're really kind of getting that idea that sort of like once you kind of get them there, there's so much richness and so much exploring that you can do. And it's like go off script. Let things happen. See what's happened. And it's very intuitive. And so there's part of your that you can get very intuitive about seeing like where can this go? Like where can we go? What is, and have in your mind like an intention. And even if a very simple intention when you start that we're doing this to bring them to a new experience, sort of like sub-personality journey. Well, you are wanting to, integrate that some part of the personality, back in and make them feel more whole. It's a soul retrieval, right? So, and it's the same with the past life journey. It's like you wanting to bring that in, it's a soul retrieval. It's like bringing that back into the wholeness. And it's so much about listening, about asking these questions, and then the person experiencing, the answer that comes and the emotions that are around that, the feelings that are around that. And it just adds this whole richness. And it helps to bring everything to this higher place. And so, using your intuition, like, how can we bring this to a higher place? And I just saw a lot of you doing that, so I wanted to say that that's great. And I know that, some people are better at receiving these. It's like some people you say something, they go, oh, they go, a lot happens. And then, other people you might get one word answers from. So, so it's good to play with this with a lot of people, and some people are really drawn to doing this work because it turns out to be really fun. It's like walking around in somebody else's dream. Like, wow, how fun is that? And very satisfying. So anyway, any comments or yeah, questions on that? Besides the fact that you did great. Okay. Okay. Well, oh, here we go. Okay, what do different levels of the house represent? Subconscious, higher self? Yeah, the lower part, like a basement, is a lot about what's buried and what you're trying to repress. So basements usually represent, maybe it's a different person, but for the most part, I find that that's like something repressed,
Hmm.
something that's pushed away. And then the higher levels usually represent, like it goes usually lower, middle, and upper dantian, and it's more about the connection to spirit, and can definitely be the wise elder or someone who is up there. And it's nice when you kind of get into those levels. So, yes. Okay, Joel, that was incredible. Yes, that's what we're looking for. Yeah, so good job, Yuko.
Yeah, very good.
Hmm. Yeah, these are fun. And experiencing it really helps you then to offer it to someone else because you get a sense of what happened for you. And then it's like, oh, yeah, how do we, how do we find that way? And so you let them, they're leading. And at the same time, it's your intuition. So there's a wonderful weaving together that you're doing with your partner.
And as with everything, the more you do it, the better it feels, the more
Yeah.
comfortable you get in there and can have the right way to support them in their process of wherever that might take them.
Yeah. And I have people who this is like the main thing that they love to do. So,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, which is totally fine. I can I can totally get on board with that. Especially when it comes, you have the whole five element understanding that goes along with it and a lot of insight. Can we work with phobia with that process? Definitely. You know, bring that part out. Like, what's the part with the phobia? And work with them. So yes, phobia is a good one.
That would be part of their personality.
Yes, that's not one piece.
Yeah,
That's terrified of heights or bridges or
spiders or whatever.
yeah. So great to talk with them and see where you can take it. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, we're gonna go talk about thought forms. Oops, this one. Okay, detrimental thought forms. Okay, can be consciously or unconsciously created. And that comes with strong intention and emotion. So, you know, usually they are unconsciously created. So, what would be an example of a consciously created thought form? That might be like advertising, that's out there. It's consciously created. It's a thought form, and you're trying to make, drink Coca-Cola, you know, a thought form that's in everybody's mind. It used to be or smoke Pall Malls back in the day, or whatever that is. Snap, crackle, crunch, snap, crackle, crunch, Rice Krispies, or even there's
Snack,
just
crackle, pop.
pop, snap, crackle, pop. Oh, that's it, snack, crackle,
Yeah,
and pop. Thank you for,
yes.
yeah, that one didn't stick, did it?
Well, plop, plop, fizz, fizz. That's the one I always remember. Alka-Seltzer.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So there are these thought forms. Those are consciously created and they go out into the world. So when we look at a thought form, there's the original thought in the center. There's the emotional charge, and the emotions get all caught up in internal beliefs about the reality of it, and it forms into a cluster. So that can be, you know, we're victims, we're victims of the healthcare industry, victims. There's a thought form, there's a whole lot of emotion and beliefs all entangled around that and forms kind of a thought form cluster. But it could be about anything, police are bad or there are thought forms and people have them. So internal ones would be, that kind of like, I am a victim. Or, I'm too fat. I need to lose weight and get into body dysmorphia, internal beliefs and emotions. I'm not lovable because, this belief that my body, I have to have this thin body in order for someone to love me. So those are thought forms. They can be found in a person's second way chi field, in that emotional mental body, and they form unconsciously when a person becomes obsessed with something, which could be about weight or, um, some legal battle or um, something that really obsesses a person. They're just living and breathing this thing, and it forms into a thought form. Thought form feeds on persons, places, or things. And so it can collect in a place. It works on the person who created it, but then it can kind of move into other people and places or things. So an example of that, um, there's certain places. So the thought forms inside of a church. So depending on the kind of church, it's going to have different thought forms that are inside of it. That maybe could be, you can walk in and identify the feeling. Insights a detrimental thought, which produces emotional food. And so that's a negative thought form. So the negative thought forms feed off of people, places, and things. And they can have a consciousness of their own at a certain point. Without any attention, the thought form dissolves. Like, oh, no one's thinking about that anymore. Like the whole, no, I know people still wear a mask, but the whole COVID was like a mass thought form. And then, it's not that anymore. It's not everybody's out there has less attention, so it dissolves. Like the bubonic plague. Everyone was terrified, and it's not a thing out there anymore.
How about just Wendy? One of them that's pretty new was Y2K when we're all worried about the
Oh,
computer.
yes. That was a big
No one thinks about that anymore.
no. That's right. I was I went and gave a talk during Y2K at his church. It was a Unitarian church, and the person invited me. And what my talk was like, so if Y2K happens, what would you do? This is the best thing about this whole idea is, would you just protect your family? Would you have your guns at the door? No one else can have my stuff? Or are you going to share with your neighbors? Or I think that, so I told them that this is what I think Y2K is the really great thing about it. It gives you this opportunity to look at yourself and see, who am I in the world? How would I approach this? So, purposely created. So sometimes you have ones that are created by dark sorcerers, and they are sent out in the world to do certain things. That is also true of advertising. They create thought forms, they blast it out to everyone, and they want it to do a task, which is getting you to purchase something or to vote for somebody, you know, or something like that when there's like this advertising. So it can be used for good or evil. So, yeah, but it can also do good. So the thought form could be used for, like let's save the forest kind of a thing. Like let's put that out there in the world. Let's take care of the oceans. Can create physical energy patterns. So a thought form can create cysts, tumors, etc. So if they're telling you if you do such and such, then you're going to create cysts and tumors. So maybe if you believed that, if you were smoking, that you would get lung cancer. So there is a connection there between the thought form and what actually happens. Like if people believed that smoking would make them healthy, would it actually make them healthy? It's that's would it, kind of an unknown. So there's always the story of the cancer story where there was a mix up in test results. And one person who was cancer free got the one that said that their cancer came back and they only had like 2 months to live. And then there was the other person who cancer had come back and was everywhere and they only had 2 months to live. And they got the one that said that they were free of cancer. And the people actually followed what the report was because they believed it. Person who believed that the tumors came back died in the 2 months, and the person who was cancer free, who had all the tumors, also believed it. So it's really interesting. There's those books by Joe Dispenza, like The Placebo Effect. They get into some of these things, like where there's people who have had where they did a test of surgeries versus no surgery. But everybody was told that they had the surgery. I guess they were supposed to have a placebo group, so I guess, but they all had like they had a scar on their knee. It was a knee surgery. And even the people who didn't have the surgery and only got the scar, everything was better in their knee. So what is reality? We have to question the veracity of our physical world. Okay, and so how they show up can have a wide variety of appearances. Differentiation between prenatal and postnatal patterns of the mind. So the mind, we have congenital prenatal mind of the Yanshan, then the acquired mind of the personality. And the congenital mind, the original mind, has spiritual patterns and energetic patterns, innate connection to the divine, vital activities of prenatal Wu Jing Shen. And then we have acquired benign thought patterns, internal subconscious praise, external environmental praise, and then we have the acquired mind thought, malignant thought patterns, internal subconscious condemnation, and external environmental condemnations. That's kind of a neat chart. And the ones we don't want. So, thought forms, disease, and healing. Positive thoughts can dissolve dark formations. Can be introduced or healed through chi balls. So it's really nice to create a beautiful chi ball with a really positive thought in it and place it in a person right where they need the healing. So putting in a chi ball that says, dissolve this tumor is something that you can do. Um, or a positive thought, maybe free of tumors or free of whatever that is. So they can be put in the body, and the body can, then the person can do with them sort of what they will. It's good to introduce positive thoughts. So thought forms can become individuated with their own destiny. So we hope that's a good destiny. And I go into houses, and one of the things I end up clearing quite often can be mirrors. And people stand in front of mirrors and have negative thoughts about themselves. And man, do those mirrors get nasty. They can have mirrors can hold really nasty energy. Or sometimes it's like in a room. And then someone will bring in like, oh, well, I bought that beautiful mirror at this antique place. And it's like, whoa, like what happened in that room that that mirror was in? Because mirrors hold, I mean, they do. They just hold that energy. So, and then it's in there. So that can be, but then the more individuated with their own destiny can be with they're really super energized. And then people start sending that out to other people. And like, did you know about da 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 da? Yeah, it's a terrible blah 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 blah. And so that judgment and the negativity goes out into the world. Or did you know about that? It's really great. So depends, and its individuation depends on the amount of emotional charge that goes into it. So this is all we go into all of this a lot more in Seminar 12. So some of you are doing Seminar 12 this year, and you're going to get a much larger and deeper dose. So psychic attacks. Taoist science focuses on control of secret forces of nature, known in ancient times as Taoist magic. So we have Mofa, which is evil spirit law, and Wushu, which is wizard skill. And you don't want to be doing Mofa, but some Wushu is okay if it's working with the light. Okay. Remember, virtue is the greatest and only true defense. So, um, and we'll just wait a minute there and get into that breathing, John. But anyway, and so attack upper dantian and spirit body, the resulting in extreme delusion, psychosis. As the mind becomes overshadowed, it affects the victim's sensory perceptions, thoughts, emotions, and desires. Attack of the middle dantian and the energy body, resulting in chronic misfortune, bad luck, sudden accidents, sudden attractions and obsessions, and sudden repulsions. Oh, yes. Attack lower dantian and physical body, causing physical illness and disease. Attack the head and neck or mouth, causing epileptic seizures, nervous system disorders, and stroke. Attacking the chest and or shendao, the back of the heart, causing digestive system disorders, Hag syndrome, which is weight compressing on the chest in the night, and you wake up with it, and heart attacks. Then attacking the abdomen and or Mingmen from the lower dantian, I mean, that's still the same thing, causing immune system disorders, reproductive system disorders, and atrophy symptoms. So there's all different kinds and levels of attacks against the physical, energetic, and spirit body. So we're going to be doing something that helps to protect from attacks. But we're not quite there yet. But we're going to, time is it? Come back to it. So I think we'll just take a break right there. And I'm going to pass it over to John. You guys can do some breathing. Yeah, I
Let's
can't hear
do
you,
a
John.
breathing break. Let's take a
Breathing
breathing
break.
break.
Yes, you need one. You've
All
been doing
right.
great.
So what we're going to do is we're going to repeat some of the stuff that we've done over the last few days just to get a sense of how are we improving? How are things changing for us as we go through expanding our breath and working with that respiratory Tao Yin. So I'm going to invite you. We're going to do this from a seated position. So go ahead and find a nice upright position. in your chair. Good. And we're going to start like we did the other day. We're going to start to really open up the breath. So we're going to do our 2 breaths into the chest, circle it around, and then do 3 breaths into the abdomen. Start to really open up the whole torso. So let's start with that. Take 2 breaths into the chest. Hold those breaths and circle around your waist. Get some movement, like you're trying to add some more energy here, making more space. Take 3 more breaths into the abdomen. Get a sense of this whole area being nice and full. Hold that breath, and now exhale. Good. Take another breath into the chest. And another one. Hold it, circulate it. Making more space here. 3 more breaths into the abdomen. Getting nice and full. Pack it all in there. Exhale. Really starting to open up this whole area. And one more time. Breathe into the chest. A couple times. Get them nice and full, and then circulate. 3 more into the lower abdomen. Fill yourself up, hold that, and exhale. Good. And just place one hand on the chest and one hand on the abdomen. Let's take a moment, just check in with our breath now. See if you can get a sense of that wave breath, if it's a little bit easier after doing that. How our breath is now. Great. And just check the side here. How is it on the side? Hands at the waist, fingers in front, thumbs behind, pushing in. You can get a sense of pushing out, opening up that side diaphragm a little bit more. Good. And then sliding your hands behind you. You can use the backs of your hands or the palms, or just kind of get your thumbs a little further back. Let's check the kidneys and the lower back area. Can you breathe a little deeper here? If it's awkward to put your palms there, use the backs of the hands, a little easier on the shoulders when you're seated. Breathing into your hands, breathing into the back part of the chair. Opening up that flow in the back part of the diaphragm. Charging up your kidneys. Good. All right. And then let's do a little bit of the easy form of our nostril breathing. So let's start on your left side. Just place your finger on the right nostril. Take a breath into your left nostril. And then hold the left nostril and exhale through the right. Let's just start this process. Inhale through the right. And transition and exhale through the left. Clearing out anything here, breathe in through the left. And breathe out through the right. Again, breathe in through the right. And breathe out through the left. Let's do that a couple more times. Into the left. Out through the right. In through the right. Out through the left. And final time with this version. Breathe in through the left. Breathe out through the right. Breathe in through the right. Breathe out through the left. And if you want, you can continue doing like that if you'd like, and just kind of pinch and let go. But if you like, you can get back into our index finger on third eye, thumb over the right nostril, and we're going to bring in the thrusting vessel and the microcosmic orbit. So with your index finger here, thumb on the right, take a breath into your left nostril and get a sense of it flowing down the thrusting vessel right on the left side. Into the Danchen, run the microcosmic orbit. A brief hold. Exhale through the right. It's going to come up the thrusting vessel and out through the nostril. Inhale your right side, going to go down the thrusting vessel to the Danchen, circulate through the microcosmic orbit. Little hold. Exhale, coming up the left side and out through the nostril. Again, inhale through the left. Circulate through your microcosmic orbit. Little hold. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Down to the Danchen, run the microcosmic orbit. Hold. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Hold. Exhale through the right. Good. Breathe in through the right. Down, circulate through the microcosmic orbit. Hold. Exhale through the left. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, left side. Run the MCO. Hold. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Run the microcosmic orbit. Hold. Exhale through the left. Good. And before we go to the counting one, just have a moment just to check your breath here. See how that is now. See if you're starting to notice any differences, if it's getting easier for you. And we're going to work with the numbers again. So I'm going to invite Wendy, if she can, to bring on the metronome again. And what we're going to do is we're going to work with even numbers. You can start with 5 or 6. Inhale, hold, exhale, all the same numbers. Or feel free to play with the 1, 4, 2. So inhale, for example, 5, hold for 20, exhale for 10. So find how those numbers are working for you. Maybe you can increase a little bit today. Maybe you have to increase a little bit, come back down. Play with this and just notice how this is changing for you as we do this. So, Wendy, if you could put on the metronome, that would be great. Thanks, everybody. Here we go. And remember, you're breathing into your abdomen, not into your chest. Get a sense of the chest being more quiet. Feel free to let the other hand rest on your lower dantian and switch if you get tired. Slowly beginning to finish the one you're on. And bringing your hands back to the navel. Take a few deep breaths into your abdominal area. Run the microcosmic orbit. And let's lock that in with 9 rotations. And do some more in the other direction. Your hands. Send that into your eyes, optic nerves in the brain. All the way down to the Dan Chen. A little wash of the face. Tap of the forehead. Crown, side of the head, back of the head, back of the neck. Let's come down the arm. Up the backside. Same thing over the other side. Underarms. Heart and lungs, chest area, sides of the body, digestive organs, up your right side, down your left. Tap the sea of chi coming around the waist. Feel free to tap the kidneys. And then down the outside of the legs. Up the inside. Tap the belly again. Good. Just breathe for a moment. Just check in, see how that is now. And how it's, see if you can get a sense of it progressing a little bit easier, even if it's incremental, if it's a little bit. It can get easier and how you feel. I feel all charged up now. Ready for the next lecture. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, and you can also add how you're doing. Every day feels easier. Yes, it
Yep,
does.
I hear ya.
Okay, see you tomorrow, Delphine. Okay,
I was trying to play with some different numbers today too, just to see how it was.
good. Okay, if you wanted to clean the mirrors, Divine River of Light goes great with mirrors because they're hard to clear, but really pull the Divine River of Light through them is a great, great way to do it. Sandy.
I have 2 questions. Yes, it is getting easier. I'm trying to practice this at night before when I go to bed, just to kind of help calm the nervous system, just the nostril breathing. And it's funny because the other night I did it and I swear I did like 5 rounds and poof, I was out. So, in terms of that's my experience, if I was talking to a new client, inspiring them to practice this before bed, would I say that this practice helps calm the nervous system? Like, what would you suggest in terms of an educational thing to say to someone?
Well, it does calm the nervous system. We would say it calms the but you could say it calms the nervous system. But I would also remember to start with to make sure they're deep breathing first.
Right.
Okay.
They need to do deep breathing and then do this.
Okay. And my next question is why 142? I haven't really kind of connected with why the numbers, John.
That's part of a breath retention practice where you hold 4 times as long as you breathe in, and then you exhale twice as long as you inhaled. And it's part of the breath retention. And
That's
to really hold
yeah.
that energy and then release as much toxicity as you can on the other end of it.
Yeah, that's a pranayama.
Yeah.
Those are pranayama numbers, but they're also used like a lot of that stuff. It's all across the Silk Road and everything. So it's pretty much the accepted version. And then there's like the 6666, where you Also hold the exhale, the square breath.
Yeah, it's box method or
Inhale,
square method.
hold,
Yeah.
exhale, exhale, hold. Inhale, inhale, hold, exhale, exhale,
Yeah.
hold. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I play
I
with
know
that
that
one
one,
sometimes
but
too.
Yeah.
I just wondered why. But exhale twice as long to release the toxicity. That makes sense.
Mm.
What about, when I worked in fitness, people with high blood pressure are not recommended to hold their breath,
True.
typically during isometric exercises. So if you had a client that had high blood pressure, is there any caveats that you would add? Like if you feel dizzy?
I would just have them do the inhale, alternate nostril is fine without much of a hold. Maybe
Okay.
like 6, 6, 6 or something.
Right.
Okay.
And
Thanks.
also beware of a lot of reverse breathing with someone with high blood pressure. That's contraindicated as well
Yeah.
if it's really serious. But my experience with working with a few people that I have that have high blood pressure, but it's not really bad, that actually helped their blood. We've actually been able to work with it and support them in it. So it's
Well,
very
Mo,
individual.
it's very common as people age. So a lot of people are in medication. It's controlled because they're on medication for it,
Right.
right? But with regular fitness, rather breathing, they might find that they actually might need to decrease their medication. But a lot of people in the beginning have high blood pressure that they don't know they have it.
Right.
Mm.
Right. Mm.
Okay. I think any other comments there? Yeah. Okay. That was good. It's good to do this, to see that breathing is such a wonderful part of Qigong. And
And one more thing about mirrors too that I think is really cool that I do after I get them cleared, then I make sure that when I'm in front of them that I do nice things. I smile at myself, I make silly faces or whatever just to keep the energy light in the mirror. So I do that all the time. I go, oh, the mirror
nice.
needs I'll just make a funny face in the mirror or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
reflects through
I
the
find that
house.
really good for my mirrors.
Yeah. And you can tell if a mirror is good or bad by how long you can hold your gaze. It'll tell you right away if you're like, whoa, I can't look in there. Yeah. In your eyes. It's the eye gaze.
Right.
Mav?
I just wanted to ask how what do you guys think about the mirrors crossing the beds? Because my husband has a crazy thing, like no mirror can, like if your bed is in the view of a mirror, it's like he's got a serious problems with mirrors. And he covers them if we're traveling, he covers them all up, especially if they cross
Oh.
the bed, and
Ah.
says
Well,
that they're
they can hold a lot of spirits in them, but you can also clear them and then he doesn't have to be worried about them.
mm, yeah, because I've noticed it too, then like it's weird. Like he can't sleep, I can't sleep. It's like it becomes a whole thing. Like it's like really crazy mirror situation has been happening in our life since he came into my life. I'm like, we had to change. So in my room there was mirrors on the wall.
Yeah.
And we took them all away. Like,
Right. Well, they could be cleared, but sometimes they can't be cleared and it's better to replace them.
no, I
But
don't
they
know if
can,
there was
but
anything
being
wrong
new
with
doesn't being a new mirror doesn't make it a good mirror.
it.
So you always have to do the eye gaze with a mirror.
The eye gaze. Okay, that's how you know.
That's how you know it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So you just have to be discerning with your mirrors. It'll be fine. Okay. I'm gonna go back to we were okay. Yes. So yeah, and I have, I work with people who get attacked by entities, and these are real things. So let me see, one's really popped out. Yeah, sudden attractions or obsessions. So that is a thing that dark sorcerers do. They create spells to make a person be attracted to someone or obsessed with someone. and or a sudden, so they do these manipulations of people. It's very, very bad and dark, but some of them are very good at this stuff. Um, so, it's just something to be aware of. Now, it's not so much in our culture, the Western culture, I think that one thing about Western culture is that there is a strong fear of hell. So, people, are, for the most part, don't want to do dark stuff, but it's definitely there. And if you go to a bookstore or look on Amazon, you know, there is so much available. It's huge amounts of information, grimoires, like just a huge amount of information is available on the dark arts, like more so than the light arts. So dark arts are problematic in our society, becoming more so, and people get themselves into big trouble because, you're in trouble if you start doing that stuff. Definitely. Okay. So low magic uses hidden energies of herbs, gems, minerals, plants, stars, etc. But that's good. This is low white magic. If you're doing the good stuff, then you're using it for good reasons, for healing, herbs, gems, minerals, plants, stars. That's good. It's not as high as the high magic and lists assistance of spiritual entities, celestials. And in the case of dark magic, they will use the presence of demons. So we don't want to do that. We want to stay with the angels and the guides and all the high. That's why we call them guides, guardians, and angels. Because we don't want to get involved in those dark, dark places. So there are schools of white and black magic, both draw on the energy of the Wuji and the Tao. And so it's the same energy, it's just used for different things. The black magic shaman seeks to obtain power over others, while the white magic shaman seeks to obtain power over herself. The School of White Magic, known as a Wu magician or sorcerer, yes, we're the Wu, seeks to commune, harmonizing the Xing, the human nature, with the Ming. So trying to, and for ourselves and for others, works with benevolent spiritual spirits and divine celestial immortals in order to initiate healing and transformation within the physical, energetic, and spiritual realms. Yay! Then the School of Black Magic, Boo, also known as a Yao Shu, the way of the demon. And there are people, it's amazing how there's people out there doing this stuff. Seeks power and control by utilizing suffering, pain, and fear. Works with malevolent spirits and demonic celestial immortals in order to develop power and maintain control over the physical, energetic, and spiritual realms. And so the dark sorcerers are, um, you know, they don't have a connection to the light, and they see this world as a place where you just need to gain control and power. And so, and and it's sort of like the he with the most toys wins, or he with the most power wins kind of a thing. And they're often battling between each other for more power. And so there's a lot of this sort of underlying darkness that goes on in our world, but actually it's the darkness that has control over them, and they just for the most part don't know it until they do. And then all of a sudden the light goes on, and it's often too late in this life. So, Chang Dao, magic of the light. So, a quick question from Celine.
Yeah, I'm curious, Wendy. I've read before, heard before that sometimes you know, these these types of people who engage in that type of work and energy will sometimes get sick, or like it'll
Mm,
start to kind of turn on them. Have you
mm.
encountered that or seen that in your experience?
Yes, and it does turn on them.
Okay.
So you can only go on for so long. This brings up a story. Story time of a friend of mine who, yeah, he was a friend of mine, and he got throat cancer and trying to help him with his throat cancer, and I was working on it. And what I saw was that okay, this sounds really weird, but I see someone has put that on you. It's like I see that that has been, a dark shaman has, given you this throat cancer. And and he told me, he said, yeah, he used to work with this dark shaman. And then when he realized that what this guy was doing was evil, and he started to see he was getting darker, and he's like, oh, I got to get away from him. And so he like tried to, he moved away from this guy and tried to be where the guy couldn't find him, but he was kind of an easy person to find. Anyway, he moved away and he like, cut everything off. And and then later, and which was more recent, I mean, I think he got away from him for at least 10 years or so. And then he got a call from him, and the dark shaman was dying and from his darkness. And so he was dying, but he told them that he wanted my friend to give him all of his students because he taught. And he says, you have to give me all of your students, because he wanted to feed off of their energy to stay alive. He wanted his students. And my friend is like, no, I'm not going to give it to you. He says, well, then I'll kill you. If you don't give them to me, I'll kill you. So so that's what happened. He got the throat cancer and he died of it. So but he wasn't going to give him his students to feed off of. So, I mean, good for him. Heavy choice. And he was also someone who never aged. It's like, what? It wasn't him, but my friend. It was always like, it's so weird. How come he never ages? But he had been involved in this other stuff, so
Wow.
the dark stuff. Anyway, yes, I have been around that, and it does happen. So Zhang Dao, magic of light. Yes. Can be out of body travel, healing work, protection, all for good. Yes, all good stuff. The woo. Yes. And then there's, I can't even see it on my screen. Ju Dao. Dark magic of darkness. Energetic vampires, black cord to victim. Um, I don't especially see a black cord to the victim, but victims are attacked. And there's two kinds of black magicians: those who invoke demons from the spiritual plane, those who create and launch their own demons. Well, guess which one of those isn't a good idea? Never make your own demon. It will come back after launch or lunch, and they will become lunch for their own demons. So that's always the worst possible thing. I don't see black cords, but definitely when someone I find the energy in their second Wei Chi field, or their third Wei Chi field. That will be the energy of the dark being. So that's where I find it. It's out there. Psychic influence works because of induction and resonance. And so they cannot attack you unless you have a hole in your field. So we have to have our we have to have our integrity. So general types of psychic influence. Intensity of feeling, cultivate strong feeling of emotional attachments to idea or feeling. Intensity of visualization cultivates ability to form strong, clear mental image or idea of feeling. Intensity of concentration focuses attention on one idea or feeling, shutting out all other ideas or influences. So, and so the dark sorcerer's specific idea of feeling energetically and spiritually induced into another person's subconscious mind. And so this is how they are doing this. And they've usually got a lot of they have a lot of paraphernalia and things that they're often using at the same time, and mantras. Um, because when I take these out of people and I take them apart, I see what they're made of. And to do these things, they'll be using herbs, they'll be using, well, then there's the nice herbs, and then there's like the bad, like, blood and bone powder, and um, a lot of dark stuff goes into these kind of dark attacks, as well as chanting like some kind of a mantra that they'll be putting in there. And then they often will have a spirit attached to them. It may be a spirit of like a chicken or something. If they've killed an animal, they'll kill the animal and capture a spirit and put it into the attack. Or they will, for a more high level, they will capture the spirit of a dead person. And so they love to hang out in graveyards and try and capture dead people. And there's plenty around because we haven't done our job completely, vacuuming them all up and helping them into the light. And so then you find them in there, they are chained down. Personal influence, power to influence others through strong mind control or subtle seduction or hypnosis. Distant influence, ability to manifest psychic induction when two individuals are in different locations. And we know that that works. And indirect, ability to influence without intent, various individuals who come in contact with emitted thought forms. And so that's indirect. So there's not the intention there. This is just people who are influencing each other. Like you walk into a room and you feel a certain influence going on, or you sit down with a group of people and you can kind of feel, maybe that they have a group mindset, and so they kind of have an ability to influence, and maybe you want to get up and run. So, and some people try and influence others and people do this. And you can learn how to do this. So there's definite schools of how to influence people, how to have power over people, what is the right thing to say, how you copy how they're sitting, and you notice what it is what are they into? What is their modality? Oh, they're more visual. I'm going to talk to them this way. And so there's schools of this, of how to influence people. And it's all not good unless it's used only for healing and, for high, but, it's just taught sort of willy-nilly to anybody. Psychic attacks, dark powers, dark Taoist sorcerers use voodoo-like dolls or puppets. And so here's an example of one of those. So this is something you can just go and buy at the store. This is a picture of like just off of Amazon. You can go get one of these. So right above it says ex-lover voodoo doll. I hope you realize you still love me and want me back. Ah, poor guy or girl. Ah, hope you get bad cancer. That's out in the arm. Ah, I want to hurt. I want you to hurt like I hurt. Ooh, nasty. Stop bitching behind my back. Ooh, stop Anyway, these are terrible. Stop flirting with my friends. Stay out of my life. Yeah, like these are things you can just buy these things. It's like at Christmas. We're being in stores, kind of, it's the only time I kind of go through all that kind of paraphernalia. It's like there's always some friggin' voodoo doll, like for the boss, or it's terrible. Just such dark stuff. And it's very accepted in our society, just like I guess because our main holiday everyone agrees on is Halloween. Somehow the dark stuff is okay. Okay, we can attack through thought forms, spirits, and demons. Yep, attack directly through soul travel. So I have, and I really don't like this one. So when I'm working on someone who is, being attacked and there's a real seriousness about the attack, and then I kind of feel the presence, like the person that is attacking this person is present in the space, and it's like, oh shit. I can kind of see them over my shoulder, and it's like, oh, okay. I better make myself, I'm gonna have to get invisible after this, which we're gonna do. The next page. Defense is all defense. Best is always virtue. Virtue is your defense. If you have enough virtue, they can't find a way in. So the idea is if you're sneaky about something, if you're not like all good, they'll find your bad part and take advantage of it. So that's a good thing in the long run. You want to know what you're doing is wrong when it's wrong. So, and also need to have no fear. The light is much more powerful. So with all of this stuff, all the dark stuff, you have to have no fear. As soon as you have fear, then they have an entree because that's a crack. Having fear. The fear is not believing in the light. If you believe that the light and your connection to spirit is more powerful than the dark, then it will be. So have no fear. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to do the green Tara mantra. So Bodhisattva green Tara. Bodhisattva means like a lesser Buddha. This is green Tara, is here to protect us from all danger and suffering. As a remover of obstacles, she has the power to guide us across the ocean of samsara, meaning the illusory world, to reach awakening and enlightenment. So we're going to work with her, and this is her mantra, Om Tare, Tu Tare, Ture Swaha. So she's a lovely being, and she's a high being, so there's unconditional love, and so she's just happy to work with any of us and all of us. And here's a picture on the lower left. What does this mean? Well, to begin with, you're going to have to draw a talisman. You have to have an idea of a talisman to draw on your upper palette. So that's your talisman can just be, something that means something to you. It could be a circle. It could be a letter. It could be a star. It could be a triangle or a circle with a dot in the middle or an infinity sign, but something, and this is for you, your favorite sacred symbol of the moment. So, so the guides are like, yeah, infinity signs are good. Or, three conjoined kind of circles or, but we can't be real tricky because you have to draw it with your tongue on your upper palate. And your tongue is the brush and your palette is the page. So we start by, I'll go through this with us together here. So I have used this before when there's something there in the space and you just want to become invisible to it, or there's a lot there and you need to become invisible to it. So this makes you invisible because of the mantra and because of the balls we're creating these spheres of mantras. Imagine light filling three energy fields, physical, energy, and spiritual. Create an energy ball between the hands. We press back on Mingmen and let this ball come out at the navel with the palms facing each other, and then lift that up to the mid chest. We create a talisman then on the roof of the mouth with the tongue. And then we say the mantra silently, Om Tare Tu Tare Tare Swaha, and feel a strong emotional connection and sense of protection. And then we're going to inhale, divine light flowing in through the nose. At the same time, energizing the talisman. And then pulling its power into your chest, heart, and middle dantian. And we're going to bring in the power of the Wujing Shen and the white light, and all of your energy together, fusing together the yellow cord, and from the yellow cord to the back of the throat. And basically, we're just going to bring that up past your talisman and speak that now into the energy ball. And after speaking into the energy ball, we bring it up to the third eye and then we place it. So we place we place them like front, back, right, left, below, above, and then over it all. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's like the 6 directions of energy plus a large one. So the 7 directions. And it's not 8 because we don't do an inner. So it's the 7 directions of the ball. Okay. So this is Tara. And I'm going to repeat it so you can say the mantra, and by then you're going to be pretty good at the mantra. So that's Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Svaha is our mantra. And we're going to do this sitting.
Ash was wondering if you're sending them this, or can tell us where they can find the description of this setup for this practice.
Oh, is it in the handouts, John?
I didn't see it in the handouts.
Okay.
But I could be mistaken. I went through them as you were doing that.
Oh, you did?
I
Okay.
didn't see them.
Yes, well, and is it in the new books? I'm pretty sure it's in the new books. I'm not sure it's the same way in the new books. So we'll be sure to get this to you. So John, you're in charge of the other one, and I'll get this out to everyone.
Okay.
So it has 2 parts. It has the part that is the green Tara part, and then it is the whole meditation part. But it should be in that chapter in volume 2. Quickly, just look in volume 2. Because it's such an important thing. But I think maybe I had the feeling that there are things that were removed from here. It's like, what?
I take it back. It's there. It is in the book, or it is in the handouts. It's on
Okay,
page
good.
33.
Oh, good.
Everybody. Page
Right.
33 of your handouts is the setup for the spirit spell incantations.
Yes. And yes. And so this is important because it's not in the new books. It's the picture is there, but he uses the same picture with Ren Wuzong, which is not the same as this.
No, it's not.
It's not. And like this is really, really good and useful. So you're learning this. You get the combo of the best of the old books. Okay, so let's do this together. I'm going to sit back a little bit so you can see on my hand. It's good to do sitting. So if I'm in a situation where I need to do this, I will find a place to sit, and I'll actually usually sit cross-legged for this one. I just had to do it this summer. My summer vacation with my girlfriends. So we had some funny stuff happen. We have some serious entities in this space, and there seems to be an endless supply of them coming in. So,
Where was it, Wendy?
Cache Creek,
Oh, I could see that.
it's a
That's like
weirdest
ghost
place.
town.
It's a friggin' ghost town. Oh my God, Cache Creek. Oh dear. I have no problem telling you where that is. You just walk around that town, it's like something's wrong. Something's off here.
There's so many towns like that in BC where it's
There's,
like these places are infested.
yeah, well, that one definitely was. It was a hotel with the upside down picture. It's like, that's an odd picture. It's upside down. Oh, look, you can't hang it the other way. And then two of the exactly the same um, Van Gogh paintings over each of the beds. It's like, you really don't do two. It was hysterical. I had to get a mop to wash the floor. But my girlfriends they didn't want to get rooms in advance. And so all this was left in some of these places were, anyway, it was pretty fun. I had a good time. And funny things like doing certain meditations in the middle of the night to deal with the situations. Okay. So
So
let's begin.
do you want us to sit cross-legged, you said for this one, or no? I didn't catch that.
No,
Okay.
I'm just gonna sit normal. It's fine. Feet on the floor.
Okay.
I'm usually like sitting on like the bed or something. It's like I had to deal with this now. Put down a couple of pillows underneath me and kind of trying to find a good place to sit where the energy's better. But hopefully everybody has good energy where they are. Okay. Oh yeah, I can add some sound to this. No, this one isn't a sound one. Okay. I take that back. Okay. My guides are like, nope, nope, not sound for this one. Okay, so let's just start by smiling and breathing and becoming aware of, oh, thank you. Welcome. Thank you all for being here and for the wonderful work that you are doing together and with each other. For indeed, there's a much growth happening, and we are very pleased with all of the work and the breath work and the postural work as well. And so we thank you. Good. And looking up and getting in touch with the beautiful golden light above you and inviting this in. And you may use your hand movements if you like to bring this down the front, wrist forward, down the back, wrist towards the back, lifting up your middle finger and sending the energy down through the center of the body, all the way down to your feet. Good. Lifting up your hands, palms flat, and pressing the hands towards the earth. Two is shu. Sword fingers into the earth to send the energy down the roots. It's three is tree, and four is core. Four fingers down as you gather the energy from the roots and invite that back up to the feet, up the back, the legs, over the head, and down to pour into the cauldron, the lower dantian. Five alive now, the steam moving through the body, through the digestive system, through the yin organs, down the legs, up to the arms, and up to the head, coming out through the palms, and spreading those hands in front of you and moving them back and forth to each other slightly to feel that sense of energy all around you into the Wei Qi field, being conscious of this thickness in your Wei Qi field. 6 is thick, 7 is heaven. Now those rabbit ears down towards the earth, bringing the heavenly energy in, coming down through the crown and lighting up the upper, middle, and lower dantians, forming the taiji pole in the center of the body. 7 is heaven, 8 is gate, hanging onto that second finger and breathing in from above, below, and all around, and seeing your taiji pole become brighter and brighter until it shines out to fill the body and out beyond the first, second, and third fields of Wei Qi all around you. Good. And then calling upon guides, guardians, and angels, and calling upon the great green Tara to come and to be with each and every one who is here, to experience her presence and her protection, and again connecting here and asking for this protection, creating the circles of protection around you, and calling upon the guides, guardians, and angels, that the work that you are doing be of benefit not only for yourself, but for all beings. Good. Good. And begin this practice now by taking a wonderful breath in and feeling light within you. And exhale, and we'll do 3 breaths to gather some energy. And 1 more. Now draw your symbol, your talisman on your palette. Good. And then take your breath in through the nose, into the lower abdomen, press back on Mingmen, and creating an energy ball right in front of the lower abdomen and bringing that up to the heart, the middle dantian. Take another breath in. As you do, think Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Svaha as you breathe in. And then exhaling that verbally into this energy ball. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Svaha. Again, Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Svaha. And a third time. Om Tare Ture Svaha. Bringing this ball now up to your third eye. And feel it expand and become large, and bringing it down in front of you so that it covers the front half of your body and expands outward also in front of you as a wonderful big ball of vibration. Good. Good. Take another breath in. Press back on Mingmen. Bring out the energy ball. Bring it up to the chest. Breathe in again, and as you do, imagine, say to yourself, Om Tare Ture Svaha, and then exhale into the energy ball. Oh, draw the talisman on the roof of your mouth. Another breath in, and then exhale. Om Tare Ture Svaha. Om Tare Ture Svaha. Om Tare Ture Svaha. Good, and bringing this ball up now to the third eye, and it's going to cover behind you. So feel it expand and let it drop down to cover the back of your body, to hold you in this vibrational field. Good, and we'll start with the talisman. On your talisman, breathe in through the nose and imagine it just even lights up here. As you breathe in, press back, produce your energy ball. Say the Om Tare Ture Svaha to yourself. Bring it up in front of your chest and exhale. Now gathering all of this energy. Om Tare Ture Svaha. Om Tare Ture Svaha. Om Tare Ture Svaha. You're bringing this up now again to the third eye, and it expands. It's going to cover the right side of the body. Expanding and coming into the part of it that's coming right into the very center of the Taiji pole, but extending outward, and just feel a wonderful ball. Good. And another talisman on the roof of the mouth. Breathing in through the nose, lighting up the talisman, all the way to the lower dantian, pressing back, saying Om Tare Ture Svaha to yourself, bringing that up to chest level, and exhale. Om Tare Ture Svaha. Om Tare Ture Svaha. And again, Om Tare Ture Svaha. Bringing our ball up to the third eye and letting it light up and expand and cover the left side of your body. So you have the front, the back, the right, and the left. And just sort of feel for a moment the vibration that you're sitting in. Good. And again, drawing your talisman on the palette. And breathing in through the nose, lighting it up. Pressing back on Mingmen, creating the energy ball, saying silently, Om Tare Ture Svaha, bringing it up to the front of the heart as we exhale, gathering all of that energy into our mantra, Om Tare Ture Svaha, Om Tare Ture Svaha, Om Tare Ture Svaha. And bringing this up now to the third eye and having it expand here to cover above you. Feeling it from the middle dantian up into space and all around you. Okay, again, drawing our talisman. Roof of the mouth. Then breathing in, lighting it up. Press back on Mingmen and having a ball of energy come out from the lower dantian. Bring it up to the middle dantian as you say to yourself, Om Tare Ture Svaha. And then gathering that energy and speaking our mantra, Om Tare Ture Svaha. Om Tare Ture Svaha. Om Tare Ture Svaha. It's okay to have sips of breath between those three recitations, bringing it up to the third eye and expanding out below you from the middle dantian down into the earth. So now you're surrounded front, back, left, right, above and below, and one more to encapsulate it all. You're becoming such a pure vibration that no energy can come in or attach itself to you. It's a perfect protection. Okay, so drawing the talisman on the roof of your mouth. Breathing in through the nose. Lower dantian, press back and letting that energy create another wonderful energy ball. Bringing that up to say that to yourself, Om Tare Ture Svaha, to the chest level. And speaking, Om Tare Ture Svaha, Om Tare Ture Svaha, Om Tare Ture Svaha. And now you're creating one as you come up to your third eye. It's going to be so big that it encapsulates all of the other 6 spheres. Beautiful sphere and the very strong presence here of green Tara. So we're just going to be in that space, just meditating in here, feeling that sense of peace. Slowly letting yourself begin to return. It's just a wonderful sense of peace with you. Okay, and now let's bring our energy through the microcosmic orbit. Gather at the navel. Bring the hands together. Looking in at the eyes. Wash the face. Tapping over the head, neck, and the arms. Feeling good, feeling held by this energy still, which is just fine. You can keep this energy as you go through your day, and we can open the rooms, and you're going to share with a partner. Day. We went start off in our Yishuan and our Silken Forms, and wow, and then it just progressed. Okay. Okay. Ah. Okay, let's breathe up from the earth. Oh, I still feel Tara all around me. So nice.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
And above, and wash that through. Another lovely, beautiful flow of energy through the physical body. Woo! Washing away anything that doesn't need to be there. And again, for the energy body. Wash that through, just like you're a mirror. And we are, so hey. And again, from the earth, smiling to spirit, and bringing that down through the spiritual body, feeling all that resonance, that wonderful field of vibration all around you. And bringing the arms out and pausing and feeling grateful. And grateful to Green Tara for her sharing this beautiful experience with us all. And grateful to all of life and bringing that into your heart, taking a breath here. And sending gratitude to everyone who's here and your partners in the journey work and in the sharing, and bringing that back into you, receiving that others are grateful to you, and shining your light in the world. Thank you. And now everybody's light's all bright and sparkly out here. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.